realized that setting boundaries with people sometimes, or trying to set boundaries with people sometimes is not gonna go the way that you want it to go. Like, I'll use an example from my life. So me and my mom had this kind of going back and forth thing where I was trying to tell her I wanted to set some boundaries with her about, some things in my life so that we can move forward with our relationship, or try to work on having a relationship, because we don't have one now. And she just she couldn't get with the program. It's like, in her head, she don't have to follow no boundaries. Like, I don't know if it's an authority thing, or if it's her just not wanting to accept that I'm an adult. Like, I'm still your child, but at the same time, I'm an adult. So if boundaries are set, then you have to follow them. I don't know. I can't speak for her, because obviously I'm not her. But I was just thinking of our conversation, and I'm like, yo, I was really trying to work with her. Like, I'm trying to work with you, and I'm trying to tell you, I just need X, Y, and Z to move forward. Like, if a boundary of mine is to be respectful, I just need you to be respectful. Or if something is small, it's like, let's just, this is not a boundary I was telling her, but I'm just using examples. Like, if I say, hey, when we talk on the phone, don't curse on the phone. If you said that, something so small like that, she won't do it. Like, she don't even care. And to me, it's like, dang, you don't care that much? But it's like, girl, you don't care that much. You don't, to me, I feel like you would love me enough to, if all I'm saying is I just have some boundaries that I want you to not overstep, and then we can grow, work on our relationship. If that's it, why wouldn't you take that? To me, that's just, it sounds crazy, because it's essentially you giving the blueprint of what you need forward to move forward with the person. But I just realized she not trying to follow him. She don't want to. It's not stuff that's hard. That's it's not obtainable. It's something that's so quick and so easy that it's really just a change of a mindset. And she does not want to change her mindset when it comes to me. And I know I'm smiling because I've been through mad stuff with my mom, so it's not I don't know, it doesn't affect me as it did back in the day. And God has given me a peace that is unexplainable. Because at the end of the day, I know I've tried, and I know I've extended my hand plenty of times with her. So it's one of those, and I'm not coming no type of way. I'm coming with love, or just really, you know what it is? Now that I think about it, I think it's mainly she come from a generation where they don't, at least in my opinion, I think they don't want to be held accountable. The generation prior to her, which would be my grandma, they didn't really talk about nothing. So now my mom, she don't want to be held accountable. She's used to, not talking about nothing and sweeping under the rug, especially in my family. So for me, it's I'm not doing that. In order for us to, I'm a millennial, so for us to move forward, we gotta talk. It's because it's not hard to talk. The hard part would be seeing yourself in a bad light. But I don't know, with stuff like that, I just be feeling nobody wants to see themselves in a bad light. But if you do something to somebody and you care about that person, why wouldn't you want to change that? Regardless of anything, why wouldn't you want to make that change for that person? Because you care about them, because you love them. Isn't that supposed to be the unconditional love part? Sometimes I'll say I don't believe that my mom loved me. And there'll be people that'll say, she loves you, she's loving you in her own way, this and that. And I know there's no blueprint to how to raise kids, I get that. But now that I got kids, myself, I just feel I can't picture myself doing some of the stuff that my mom did to me to my kids. I can't even picture talking to my kids the way that she talked to us sometimes. So it's not a sad moment, because I know God uses everything in your life, whether good or bad, to work out for you. But at the same time, it's just one of those that's like, damn, because you be trying. Like, I tried. Like, it was so many times we had conversations where I'm like, Mom, and the hard part for me is like, it's not being respectful. Like, she raised respectful kids. So, I mean, I do want to say that I believe that God had a hand in a lot of how we turned out, because mentally, I probably should be off my rocker a little bit. But God kept his hand on me, which I appreciate, because it could have been worse. But it's just hard because, we all got feelings. So, like, you say the wrong thing to me or whatever the case may be, I might get angry. Like, I might want to, say something back, say something smart, but I'm not supposed to because you're my mom. And then at the same time, because I'm a child of God, like, what's the verse about, honor thy mother, honor thy father. Even though we're not supposed to be provoked, you still are going to be held accountable for what you do and what you say. So you got to kind of resist the best way you can, because God's going to look at that, and like, God knows your heart and what your intentions is. So even if you have a slip up, as we're humans, and let's say one day she said something to me and I just spazzed because I was having a bad day, and like the enemy was just getting the best of me, then I believe that because God has so much compassion and mercy, that for something like that, knowing that we'll sin and knowing, what the situation is, that he would understand enough to show mercy on me. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, and show compassion towards the situation, because at the end of the day, trying to like talk sense into your mom in a sense is like, it's tough. And this ain't nothing to like bash her or nothing like that, because like I said, at the end of the day, I'm thankful that God has brought me out of that situation with my head on straight. I'm not out here looking crazy, acting crazy. I'm still the same person that I am, and I cannot take the credit for that at all, because what I've been through definitely like can have me on some, on something else. So saying that to say, it was nobody but God. Like, I can't take the credit for nothing. That was nobody but God, because mentally she definitely had me in some bad mental spaces in my childhood. And maybe at some point I'll come on here and talk about it. But I guess the only reason why I kind of been hesitant was, what's crazy? I've been trying to get this video off for like 3 days now. And it's mainly like, I don't want to, you like stuck between a rock and a hard place. I want to talk about it, but I don't want it to be bashful, even though some people might still try to take it that way. I don't even want her to be attacked from, comments, because I do believe that she tried her best. I'm not making excuses, and we'll all be judged for everything that we've done, but I'm not going to be the judger. So I'm not going to say, all I can speak on is what happened to me, which is the facts of the matter, how it made me feel, which is the facts of the matter, and what I would need going forward to make sure that if a relationship is going to be had, to what I would need to be able to feel comfortable to grow that relationship. But at the same time, these is the cards that God dealt me, so I might as well just deal with them. Like, it's no point in trying to figure out why you don't have something when you're not going to have it anyway. Like, either way, just focus on what you got and worry about what the next person got. And while my feelings may be valid, on like, why I feel like that and why I would want to, obviously a mother in my life that could be present, it's not going to change whether or not she's going to take that step with me. And it's going to take two to build a relationship. And I just don't think right now she has that in her. I think it's something she would probably have to work out within herself. But again, that, between her, God, I think it's, I have my own opinions on what I think it is. Sometimes I think it's pride. Why, I don't know, but I do think it's some pride in there. I think, well, you know what? Let me say, it's probably pride because she probably don't want to. She probably no. Let me not speak for her. Let me not say that. Let me not speak for her. Yeah. Back to the matter at hand. I think it's pride, and I think she really just don't want to conform like to. Oh, my daughter is telling me that I gotta do something. I gotta listen to her type of thing. And if that is it, that's crazy because that's not where I'm coming from at all. I'm just trying to tell you, like, if you do X, Y, and Z, it's going to trigger me. And if you trigger me, then you're going to cause me to, like, sin against you. And I'm not trying to have that in there. Like, I'm not trying to have to be held accountable for that. Because even though, again, I might be justified, like, defending myself. But at the same time, you got to know when somebody's triggering you, and you got to know when to remove yourself from that situation. And my mom used to trigger me a lot. She don't trigger me no more like that because God has definitely worked on me. And the crazy part is I always kind of been like a calm person. Like, I don't really care about what nobody say about me. I never really was bothered by a lot of this stuff. Hold on, because this was cute. Because why would you go down? That was kind of cute. Like, what we talking about? There we go. No, but hold on. All right, you bugging. Whatever. Yeah, I never really cared about how people felt about me. So it never mattered what you could say whatever about me, and I would just never care because I already knew who I was. I was very what's that word? What you call it? Like I know who I am. You know what I'm saying? So a regular person or somebody else cannot come in and tell me who I am. Like, it just wouldn't make sense. I'm very Jesus, what is the word? Oh, I'm very firm in who I believe I am. Like, whoever I say I am, that's who I am. So nobody could change that. And but I don't know, like, it's a tough situation because as much as I be wanting to have that conversation with her sometimes to try to get her on board, it's kind of like I don't want it to keep falling on deaf ears. And I'm the type of person, I don't want to keep having to repeat myself. And you know what you're doing. We grown. So you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing and what you're not doing. And I just believe, like, sometimes the ship just sail. And it ain't no sense of trying to swim after. Like, you can't swim after a ship. You're never going to get to it. So my mindset mainly is kind of there. But at the same time, I'm not going to say if the ship turn around, come try to get me, I'm not going to be receptive to it. Like, I'm not going to get in a boat. No, because then that would be something, a character flaw in me where I'm not able to accept someone changing. But I also know the difference. When a person is supposed to change, there's supposed to be action behind that. And in the Bible, it say you're going to know if the person is following Jesus or not by the fruits that they bear. And what's the other one? It's like, yeah, like an evil tree can't bear good fruits, and then vice versa. So I would know if you are actually doing the work to try to change yourself and work on a relationship with me, or if you're just trying to mask it and trick me into thinking that you are. But God has definitely sharpened my eye, and I appreciate that because it was times where I was triggered easily and quickly from her, and I had to. It used to feel so draining. Like, I'll be crying, and then I don't want to kind of like do nothing. I just be like so exhausted because just trying to have a conversation with somebody that you love and they're not hearing you, it's one of those, like, it's tough. So Love you, Binky Bop.
Love you, Tookie.
It's my son. He should be saying anything.
Mom.
So yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I do hope that, you know, our relationship could be fixed one day. But at the same time, I'm not looking for it, because I feel like when you look for it or you try to go get that, and you kind of give it hope, and then you don't get what you're looking for, then you can be, you know, that letdown sometimes can be detrimental to you too, to your spirit. And I'm operating these days with a high spirit. Like, I've always operated with a high spirit, but I ain't gonna lie, sometimes life be lifing. So sometimes it like life had got the best of me, and my spirit could have been attacked. And slowly but surely, God is building me back up to bring me back to who I used to be. But what I will say is that God definitely brought me out of that situation. He definitely held me while I was in that situation, gave me some tactics. One of the things I used to do was compartmentalize, where I used to take, you know, like the negative energy that she was given and just take parts of it. So like, for example, if she was throwing a negative ball at me, I would take out what I needed, what was important. So if it was something that's simple, like make sure that you wash your clothes, make sure that you do the dishes, make sure that you clean your room, like stuff like that. But it was said negatively and thrown at me negatively, like it's a big negative bubble. I'll just stop that bubble where it's at and then take out what I need to. So okay, she said do the dishes. Okay, but just don't take none of the negative energy with it. Just bypass it, and then just always focus on what I had going on. So like when I was in high school, you know, I was on the cheerleading team. I go to practice, or let me go to a game, or let me stay out with my friends. I always try to stay out with my friends. Like I always try to avoid her just so that we wouldn't get into it. Even though it wasn't as bad, because I wouldn't get into it with her, but she would be trying to like nitpick with me. And sometimes she could have got the best of me, because, you know, after a while you're like, yo, why are you tripping? Like, what is the problem? And man, all you gotta do is say that one thing, and next thing you know, it's a wrap. So yeah, you know, one day I hope that it could get there, but you know, if it don't, I have to be okay with that. And that's another thing, like I think I've come to the conclusion, and this has been for a while now, that I have to be okay with not having that. Like it might, even if it's something that I want, I have to be okay with me not being able to obtain that until you know, unless she does the work and God convicts her and she hears him and changes. Because if she don't, then I can't let her back in. Like, I'm not trying to be hurt. I'm not trying to have my spirit down. I'm not trying to get my hopes up high and then be let down. Like, it's just one of those situations where I know what I'm getting myself into. It's not worth it if the action behind it does not change. I've tried to at least set the boundaries to kind of save our relationship, if you will. And she don't even want to follow that. So I'm just sitting here like thinking like, man, when you know that it's something so simple and it's like the person just can't follow it, then to me, in my opinion, I feel like that's how you know the enemy is there trying to work that, you know? Like, regardless, I'm always going to have my hand out for her. I'm always going to help her out if she ever came to me, but she got too much pride to do that. But I've always been this person, like loving, caring, kind. Like, I've always been this person, so I'm never going to change it. I do thank God for that, because no matter what I dealt with at her house, it never changed my character. Like, I love people unconditionally, genuinely. If I do something for you, I'm not asking for nothing in return. And that's kind of tough to, I would say that's tough to keep, because, you know, some of the stuff that parents do to you can be damaging. And while some of the stuff that she has done, I may speak on as if it's regular, I really believe that the reason why I do that is because God just saved me. Like, he kept his hand on me. I just feel like if he never did that, then maybe I would be talking out of a state of anger, resentment, but it's none of it. And I can't attest to that. I can't take that glory. I got to give all that glory to God, because I know for a fact there's no way I could keep that. Like, when I was a kid, I was able to hold a grudge against my mom for saying something to me. I wouldn't hold a grudge down. Like, if I could hold a grudge before, then obviously I would be able to hold one now, right? But nah, because at the end of the day, what for? It takes too much energy to even do that. And then what am I benefiting? Nothing. Not benefiting nothing holding a grudge against somebody. And it keeps you bound. It keeps you bound. It keeps you in your feelings. It keeps you, sometimes stagnant, depending on what it is. It could continue to go over into any other type of relationships. Like, it would just keep being baggage, and who wants baggage on them? So, like I said, I can't get that to nobody but God, because there's no way. It's very unexplainable for some of the mental stuff. Like, a lot of stuff that I went through is mental. So for a lot of that mental stuff that I went through, for me to be able to be here talking about it, still having aspirations, still having goals, still having values, family values, wanting to break that not wanting, but actually breaking generational curses as far as, patterns that's been in my family. It just seeing that there needs to be some change, and actually being the person that wants to change it, going down the line, that it's not me. In the Bible, it says vengeance is not ours, it's God's. So regardless of what she has done, I can never want to get vengeance against her. I should never want to. And if we're supposed to be like Jesus is, then Jesus loves unconditionally as well. And he has compassion, and he has mercy, and he has mercy on us. And so I should extend that same. And I know people, in life will hurt us. We'll all have our trials and tribulations as well. But again, if you believe in God, you believe in Jesus, then you know that the vengeance is not ours, it's his. So if something is done against his child, it will be handled. It's not for us to tell him when to do it and how to do it. It's just for us to know that it would be. But yeah, one thing I will say, 2025, I'm not playing. I'm holding people accountable. I've been doing it though already, especially in my family. You do something, because I know how I move. I'm very genuine. I'm very intentional with people. Like, I love you. If I say I love you, I love you. I don't just say that to anybody. If I say I care about you, I care about you. Again, I'll give the shirt off of my back to people. Like, it's nothing, especially for my family. I would 10 toes double down for my family. I just had to realize, with some certain lessons within my family, that, obviously they'll be the first ones to hurt you. So once you realize those lessons and God teaches you and shows you different things, then you'll be able to maneuver a little better when it comes to dealing with your family. But I do thank him for giving me this peace that he gave me. I do thank him for showing me things that I probably wouldn't have seen just because they are my family. And I like this journey that I'm on, because it's very peaceful. And we'll see. I mean, hopefully, my mom changes. If she don't, I'm okay with that as well. I do pray for her to hope, pray and hope that she'll get it together. But if not, I'm okay with whatever the outcome is, because at the end of the day, I can't let it stop me. God has his own path for me, and I can't worry about what she's doing. If she's supposed to be in my life, she will. If she's not, I got to continue to keep going. So anybody that got mom issues or, parent issues, just know that it will get better. God is always around. He's omnipresent. He's there for you. Pray and just find ways to kind of deal with it, like especially if you have to live with their parent. And it's going to be good. We're going to come out. I am a testimony, a living testimony for it. I am still the same person that I am, and I thank God for that. She has not changed my character, and I thank God for that. So, yeah, just know it'll get better.